down and give me 10! Go on then, do it! Keep not hearing! Come on! Keep
Dance for me gave me that sense of belonging. It made me feel a way that nothing else ever did, because just everything about it just makes me feel more free. It makes me feel accepted. It like helps me channel all the negative emotions I feel.
I started BDC because in my first job I was just quite amazed when I went to the school and I was teaching dance and there were no boys. No boys came to do dance after school, lunchtime. They were all pretty interested that they all had to do dance during curriculum time. That was new, we introduced that. But they very quickly enjoyed it. So it was something that they enjoyed, but it wasn't something that they naturally felt that they were involved, or it was something for them to do outside of lessons. And I just found that interesting and wondered why. So I started a club or a boys' dance company and just started to invite those that were doing well in lessons. And of course they come because they're interested when they say you're good at something, and they turn up, and that's how my first boys' dance company started. And interestingly, I went to the second school and the same thing happened again. And I came here, and even though boys were doing curriculum dance here, there were no boys doing extracurricular dance at all. So the same thing had to happen. You tell those boys that are doing well, you invite them to something that's a little bit special and that's theirs. I mean, I remember going out, particularly here, in the first lunchtime club I had, I was going out onto the netball fields or the football fields, netball courts where they play football in the winter and the fields in the summer, and reminding them that they had boys' dance company, because they would forget. And you had to do that because there were only a few of them. And then once 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 of them start, and it's something that's quite interesting to watch, their assemblies, more and more joined. But it was something you had to do proactively because it wasn't happening naturally. People feel joy when they move to music or they're all together. So I just couldn't work out why wouldn't boys dance as much as girls? Why wouldn't they enjoy the athleticism, the thrill of being thrown through the air, or the thrill of moving in time with others? Why don't boys want to do that? They do.
When I first came to the school, when I saw first in assembly BDC dancing around, showing how they dance and everything with all boys, I went, wow. That's how boys can dance. Never knew that. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man?
that when boys move and emote, it will stop an audience. When 34 boys are dancing on stage together, you show me another boy that couldn't be inspired by that.
When I started watching all the boys do boys dance, it made me feel like this is something that I could get used to, and it's something I want to see a lot more of and something I want to join in with more. And that's when I came over on first day of school to come and ask if I could join, because that was one of the best things I'd ever seen at this school from what I'd been to have a look at, and this is something I really wanted to be a part of.
It was when I was in my Year 7 class. Miss Chalice recommended me, and I thought that if I go then it will really help me and make me go further, and I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. And as soon as I joined, it was just amazing.
I think BDC means to our boys having somewhere to go on a weekly basis with like-minded people, a bit of a family base down there. Sometimes, to be honest, I think it's a bit of an escape route for some of them, and they find Boys Dance Company without actually realising how much they're going to love it and how much they're going to become part of the company. I don't think they fully understand at first, a lot of them, how much of a big part it'll become for them. And I suppose, I don't know, weirdly, that's what makes it beautiful for us as the staff, that just watching them on that journey and watching how much it means to them by the end of it.
From day one when I came in, it was nervous. I always be nervous, and as soon as I walked in, I got welcomed, and it was probably the best feeling in my life, seeing a load of new friends, because you walk around school sometimes and you don't have no one to go to, and you walk in that room and they're the best boys I think I've ever met in my life. They're kind, caring, they're funny, everything you want as a friend. You've got someone in there for you, and it was just nice when you had no one to go to. You could either come down to dance to see the teachers, or you come down there to see your friends, and they'll always be around school to look after you. So it's just a lovely feeling.
I've done dance in my primary school, but we didn't really do anything big. There was no performances or anything, and I really wanted to boost my confidence in doing something that I like doing. So I joined BDC. And it's boosted my confidence a lot. I'm a lot more confident in lessons because I can show it to other people and not worry about what I look like or anything like that, so it's really boosted my confidence.
Well, the skills, the development of their skills is constant and, so progressive when they stay with BDC, but it's things like, the discipline, for themselves as well, the way that they change, their behaviours change. Some of the students completely change their behaviour, even throughout other areas of the school. Just that having something to focus on, teamwork, just being aware of younger members of the company and nurturing them and helping them, so their social skills develop and become better. But also some of them sort of are aware of some of the things they shouldn't be saying, and they become more empathetic and aware of what it was like when they were younger. And as you say, we encourage them to teach, so they get the opportunity to have teaching skills. But yes, I would say just working as a team, being aware of each other's social skills, empathy. Lots of them also become aware that even though they're all young men in the same school, they all have different needs and they all have different abilities. And to see them work with that and to have understanding, whereas I think sometimes when you walk around a school, boys can be quite cutting and judgmental, and that completely changes when they spend a period of time in BDC for some reason.
And then it's helped me get closer to people as well. And then now I realise, I still spend a lot of time just not doing much, and it's just a lot better to just be here, otherwise I'll be, and obviously the amount that I eat as well.
Yes.
Dance is because of that. I think it's because of dance, because it always keeps me in shape, so I realise that right now I don't need to watch anything and be careful of what I eat and stuff, even though I still should, because it helps me in dance.
The way dance has helped me is grow my confidence. When I first started boys, I was a shy boy. never spoke to anyone really, just sat in the corner, stand at the back and just did the dance. More through the years, I've just got more confident with it. Now I can have a laugh with everyone and have a normal conversation with someone without stuttering or something.
Know that it's okay to be different, and it's okay to find different ways in, and the problem solving, and not just teamwork as in terms of group morale and want to do well as a team and the end product all the time, but also it's just about, you know, sometimes the little skills like making each other feel comfortable and making someone feel welcome, and working your hardest with a little bit of healthy competition whilst not, you know, holding it against other people around you. And I just think one of the best things that I've seen through boys dance is just the way they lead each other and the way they help each other and guide each other.
I feel like I've gotten better in dance. I feel like I've been helped with a lot more, and more people have like encouraged me to do lots more of dance and get better at doing stuff in it, and that makes me feel a lot happier.
I think all we connect, yeah, in your own time when it feels right to connect. Where's them elbows at? Where's them ankles at? Yeah? Hang on, pause, slow, normal, skipping. I'm not skipping up to the soul of the yes.
And I think they instantly feel comfortable coming to Herne High and having an opportunity like Boys Dance Company offered to them, because I think this school's fantastic at offering a wide variety so that every student has a chance to be good at something. And I think a lot of the boys that join the company feel comfort in having a lot of other like-minded people around them that want to succeed and are just as passionate about this subject as them. I think a lot of the energy that bounces off the boys, it is that kind of, it's a little bit of healthy competition, but it's also a lot of inspiration as well. I think their passion comes from looking, we've got year 7s all the way through to year 13s, and I think a lot of it's got to do with, you know, you don't teach that passion. They just find it through being inspired by the older boys.
They're amazing. They inspire you a lot, and they do a lot of stuff that you wish you could do, so you learn it off them and they teach you it. And they're really supportive as well if you get something wrong. Yeah. So. It makes me feel happier, because it makes me feel like I know that I have friends from dance that are also trying to talk to me as well as my friends in year 7. It makes it calmer than just being with year 7s and not talking as much.
So if I bend my knees down and I'm keeping pushing and he's pushing downwards, down, 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 push away, down. He could just follow me, so he just bends his knees, bend your knees, stay right behind me the whole time.
I think a lot of the opportunities we give our boys are mainly professional workshops. We try and get as many professionals in as possible. They have their annual showcase, which I think they're very proud to be part of. They always produce 2 pieces of work every year, and I think they massively look forward to that. And having, you know, we treat them as a professional company. They'll always have a piece of rep that perhaps we've revisited or brought back, but they'll also be working on something more current, whether it's something that we've seen in the news or whether it's something that we've used from a professional workshop. We offer them, you know, they do their charitable events every year. We are lucky, we get asked a lot of opportunities now, which is fantastic, and we do always try our best to say yes to as many opportunities as possible. But you know, the boys really do fly the flag for us in terms of their open evenings, their getting out in the community, visiting primary schools. We're lucky enough that we have equal opportunities for boys and girls in this school. So I think it's important that the boys get out there and get seen. They do regular theatre trips very often.
So when you performed for the first time in front of a large audience recently, how did that make you feel?
I was really nervous, but it's really exciting when you're on a stage because you get adrenaline and it just makes you do better than you thought you would. You just do your best and you do really well, so it's really fun.
we've found it a really important sort of development of BDC to go out into the community, not just our local community, which we've done through Dance Dash and through various workshops, but we've gone further afield in other counties where boys dance maybe is starting up or isn't prevalent at all. And of course, seeing young men, young boys of your own age coming in, working as a team with a 5-minute piece that's really quite jaw-dropping in places, very athletic, very physical, and seeing that they're all quite motivated but disciplined. You can't do that yourself in such a short time. When we take our boys into schools, they lead the workshops, and you don't get any. You can hear a pin drop. They're listening to each other because these boys are, they look up to them and they can connect with them. I remember we went to a school a couple of years ago in London. It was an interesting workshop. It was a very interesting tour. Very different demographic. So our boys walk into this school in London, all these lads were waiting, and they had very different pieces to share, and you could see there was a little bit of what are they doing here? And as soon as they both started dancing, that acceptance of their ability and their professionalism. By lunchtime, they were all mingling and talking, and still, 2 years later, some of our boys are in contact with these lads from London about dance. So it's a real leveller, and it's hard to articulate, but it works.
Another fantastic opportunity we've had with the Boys Dance Company is we now pretty much annually and biannually we're taking the boys out on tour, so they'll visit schools in other areas to hopefully prove to other boys that it's okay to do dance.
No, yeah, I do think there's a stigma still attached to boys dance even today. Especially when I first started, there was a huge stigma around boys and doing dance, and the stigma around them being homosexual, all the things revolving around that. And I think that even though it has decreased now, there's still always going to be that stigma, and there's always going to be that sort of stereotype as a male dancer that you are homosexual, even if that may not be the case. But all you can do as a male dancer is keep battling that and not letting it affect you as an individual. I think that's the most important thing.
So, if we're marching, we've done all this and we've done all this, and it goes, no, like in the music, everyone's looking to the right at M2.
But I've also had one of my closest friends, the first time we visited her, she was quite new in her school, and I think that's been the biggest one that stuck with me in terms of memories of Boys Dance Company tours, because regularly she'll message with comments from her boys asking how people are doing, and sends us footage of them growing into young men. And for her it was more about, can you bring your Boys Dance Company into our school so that my boys can feel comfortable and know that this is actually going on out there. This is something that happens in other schools.
BDC is not just for the dancers or those boys that want to be dancers or pursue a career, as you say. For me, I think when I started, it was more about boys' acceptance and having a place to belong, and that idea that not all boys fall into the category of at lunchtime you go and play football with your mates. You can be very good at something in lessons, and there's a real creative flair there, but you're expected to do different things in your own time. For me, it was providing something for those boys as well, providing something for boys that didn't really enjoy that, but didn't know what else, didn't feel like they belonged. And some completely the other side that were disengaged, that were struggling elsewhere, that learning in an environment that's about writing and retaining information whilst sitting still wasn't the way that they could learn. So, as we know, boys then kick off or become defensive, and what we see in them isn't really who they are. And I started to see boys like that through dance just change and become who they wanted to be. So Kieran, what would your life be like without dance?
Quite boring, probably. I probably would have done like the mainstream thing, like go to football or just sit inside, like playing the Xbox or something, but I'm quite glad I did. It's changed me for the best.
So what made you turn up to BDC on that very first day? Do you remember joining?
I was in year 6, the induction day, lunchtime, coming in, watching, was it Carman?
Yeah.
Carman, yeah. And I love the look of it. So I just first day came in, asked to join, and I think like all the teachers were quite like skeptical about it, like if I was like going to be committed or just like another like year 7 sort of thing.
Yeah.
But now I've been here as much as I could every week ever since 5 years. So yeah, year 6 I would have classed myself as like socially awkward, but every week, like twice, being in there with a group of boys, like it, well, I don't want to say forces, but it's that sort of thing where like you have to interact with other people, and it's such a good thing. Yeah. And I think more people should be like open to that opportunity.
So how has it changed you?
Physically, I'm so much more healthy than I would have been, or so much more healthy than I was. And mentally, I feel so much more like confident to do anything. Like athletics has improved me a lot, and like in general conversation, I can hold on better, and yeah, it's just.
So, what opportunities has being a member of BDC given you? What's happened in the last couple of years for you?
Opened up a lot of pathways. One of them being the Centre for Advanced Training at Laban. Got told about an audition for that. Went to audition, and I got through. And it's been so good ever since. A couple more years there, and then hopefully uni as well.
So is this something you want to keep doing?
Definitely, yeah.
I think because I'm dyslexic, I think from the start of school, whether I was in juniors or whatever, it's always been told I can't do this and I can't do that, and I'm not going to be able to do this and I will never be able to do that. And I think for someone to grow up in that environment surrounded by people who can do that is really, it's downgrading. It just makes you feel lower than everyone else. And I think that's what I felt throughout my whole school life. And it just carried on until I eventually did join boys, because at first it wasn't really a thing that I wanted to do, because I mean, after being told that you can never do anything, I thought, what's even the point in trying? So I think just messing about was the key to feeling myself, until eventually I was dragged along to do it unwillingly. But no, I think that day for me changed my life. I think dance for me gave me that sense of belonging. It made me feel a way that nothing else ever did, because just everything about it just makes me feel, it makes me feel more free, it makes me feel accepted. It like helps me channel all the negative emotions I feel and stuff, and it's just, I think personally without dance, I don't know where I'd be. I'd be lost. I don't think there'd be a point in doing anything, because dance for me it has given me that clear pathway, that clear vision, and knowing that there is somewhere where I do belong. I am finally able to be myself.
Dance has done a lot for me, especially over the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, was in a pretty dark place in my head, just angry at a lot of things, didn't really want to do anything. But then, like, started dancing and I actually started caring about it. I started, like, doing it and just doing it more. And then especially now I'm coming to sixth form and I've, like, joined BDC, it's really helped me just not be so angry about everything anymore. Just, like, care about something for once. And it's made me, like, want to do it more, like, out of school, like, want to, like, do stuff at home and that, and just, like, just try and, like, commit to it more. This is something I definitely want to continue doing after school. I want to go on to it. I can't imagine not doing it anymore. Like, this is something I need to keep doing for the rest of my life. To anyone who's thinking you want to leave BDC, just don't, because it's the biggest mistake I made. Because I spent 2 years just in my head thinking, why did I leave? Why did I do that? Just thinking, and just being too afraid to come back. And it took the push from Miss to, like, just ask me to come back, and it's all I wanted to do. And when I finally did, it was just so nice to finally be back. So don't leave.
So you get asked the question all the time from teachers, how do you get so many boys to dance?
I have been asked that question many, many times over the last 30 years. I've been asked to write articles about it, which I have done, and I've done training sessions on it, and still it happens. People will come here, they'll see our boys' company, or we'll take our boys' company out. They always say, oh, how do you do it? You know, we would like to. And as I say, I've offered advice, and some of the things I say was, you've got to make it enjoyable for boys. You've got to make them feel that they're working hard. They like to, you know, be moving around a lot. They like it to be physical. So you look at your units, you look at your ideas, you look at your themes, and make sure that they are sort of accessible for boys. Your music's important. All of those things that you know as when you plan ideas yourselves. But the one thing is the passion. You've got to want to see it in your school, in your classroom, in your theatre. You've got to be moved by boys dancing. You've got to really believe it yourself, and then it will come across. The setup, the first year or two is hard, because when they're not in your studio or in your space or in your lesson, they're out there hearing and listening to other points of view, and they go home to that too. You know, you're also battling that. You're taking on everyone's sort of prejudice and everyone's point of view. Boys dance, well, yeah, they street dance, don't they? They do parkour, but ballet, contemporary, you know, you're constantly battling that. And if you haven't got enough passion and belief in it yourself, it can wear you down or wear you out. It's a great thing to have, and it does look good when the boys are in a studio or they're on stage. It's a great thing to see and to watch, but it takes constant, consistent approach. And I think if you're just doing it because it's something you think you should layer into your school or into your curriculum, if that's it, great, give it a go. But you've got to really believe that it makes dance better when there's boys and girls dancing, that boys dance strengthens girls dance.
If I came across a young boy who wanted to do dance but wasn't necessarily the most confident person, I'd basically say to him, come along, have a quick, you know, sit down, have your kit on, be ready to move if you feel like you're up for it. And yeah, have a sit, have a watch, and join in with as much as you can. Normally they get up and get stuck straight into it.
Would you recommend to the new Year 7s to start think about joining BDC?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity and it's a great thing you can do in Year 7, and it's a lot of fun.
Don't jump from there. Charles. Estelle Neron made him climb a tree.
Yeah, she made me climb a tree.
Hang on a minute. Hang on.
For a non-risk assessed photo.
I just wanted an artistic photograph. Yeah, exactly. Charles has to hang upside down like a baboon.
All right, Mr.
You know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead.
Get rid of that.
I definitely feel happier joining BDC, and I concentrate more in my dance lessons than what I used to, so it's definitely changed me a lot.
I think we do need to get out more in the community and allow people to see our boys and how good they are and how they work together. Just this summer when we went down into the town to make our documentary, we were stopped by so many people in the middle of the day who saw 34 boys all working together, all dressed the same, dancing to in fact there was one point where we were dancing acoustically to our own rhythm, our drum rhythm. We were doing our stomp piece. And they were so polite to each other, they were so polite to the general public. And they were saying, we didn't know these boys came from Herne Bay High. Oh, we should see more of them. It was that sort of concept of actually people don't see the boys enough just in our local community. So I think I would like to do more projects within Herne Bay, the Herne Bay area, just so that the community can see what a great group of boys we've got here and what boys dance can do for young men.
I think I'm so grateful for everything BDC has done for me personally and all the help I've gotten from peers and my mates and stuff, and I think that even though I'll never really be able to say thank you.
It's wonderful each year when one or two make it, and they are doing more and more. In the last 30 years, you know, it would be one in the first couple of years, then a couple more, that'll be 10 years into my career. Now, it's every year more than one is getting into, you know, a really sort of high established course or even maybe dance company. That's brilliant, and every time that happens it makes us all feel really proud. But for me it's those other 30 that are changing before my very eyes, that have friends in there, year 9s and year 13s, year 7s and year 8s, all getting on and you know, feeling that they belong. That still is what motivates me to keep BDC going.
I'm just happy that I've got the chance to experience this, and I think if other boys can find that, even if it's not in dance, even if they give it a go, I think even just giving it a try to see if it makes others feel the way I do, I think that is a massive positive. Even if you find a new mate from it, to be honest, I think it's sick. You know, that's cool.
But when I think of what I've done in dance, I can do anything now, just because I know I can, because the boys make me believe and you guys make me believe.